Hello and welcome to the Bets Unwrapped podcast. I'm here, Cmoney, your host, and I'm joined with Jordan from Barroom Bets on Twitter. How's it going, Jordan?
Man, excited, fired up, man. Trust me, I wish it was Sunday, but thank you for having me. See, I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you coming on bright and early for me. It's 9 p.m. here in Perth, Western Australia. And I was just like, I hope this man gets up. I hope he gets up.
that was funny. That was funny. Yeah. It's not a. It's like we're getting used to it, man. Getting used to it, man. But no, it's definitely great here. You know, it's pretty cool. You know, Australia, East Coast of the U.S., rocking and rolling.
Yeah, definitely. And we both chatted a little bit beforehand, and you're a Midwest guy, I'm a Midwest guy, so it's all love, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, man. Well, let's get into it. Straight into it. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Cincinnati Bengals. During this whole process, guys, what we're going to try to do is talk about every single game and give you some props that we like, and then we choose one to put in a power parlay. We're going to choose one from every game on the slate and just throw a little $5 on it and see what happens at the end. So that's the goal. The first game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and at Cincinnati Bengals. You're in Pittsburgh. What's the feel like out there?
Man, Pittsburgh's excited. They are excited. It's definitely a sleeper team in the AFC. They never had a losing record. They went undefeated in the preseason. A lot of buzz. A lot of buzz. You got mobile quarterbacks. You got some energy. You got a lot of fans that are excited about the receivers, the passing game, the running game, and definitely the defense. But they are. I think that so they are in Cincinnati for week one, and obviously they're defending, AFC champions. Cincinnati's has bolstered up their offensive line, so they're going to be better. And I think it's going to be a battle of the lines, between the offense and defensive linemen. And man, do you guys talk about TJ Watt? Who's like one of the top defenders in he's definitely like top 2, top 3 pass rusher in the league. And it's just like Cam Hayward, who's a top 3 D lineman. So it's just like you got some things to look at, but man, if we're talking about player props, man, I would say, the top 2, you can kind of tilt the decision. We got, in my opinion, between Joe Mixon for at least 70 yards and Pat Freiermuth for the Pittsburgh for at least 29, 30 yards. And I'm here at it's a pick 'em. I think both things can happen. Which one would be the best? Do you have any insight on that?
So I'm a bit of a Joe Mixon truther. So if anyone follows me on Twitter, they know I'm a Joe Mixon guy. So I
Nice.
believe in all the talent. He has got all the talent in the world. He has a nice kind of record against Pittsburgh of late. He's ran over them last couple games. So I don't mind that at all one bit. Looking at the line currently, it's at 71.5. So they're getting you right where you said. So and Pat Farmer at 26.5. So that's short, I feel.
Yeah, it is, man. He actually covered that. He's 2-0 last year against Pittsburgh, covering that rushing spread. So I mean, that's honestly where the smart money would be for today. A Freiermuth, like the 2 games that he played against Cincinnati last year, he covered that one time, and then so he's 1 for 1. I mean, you got to go with what is most consistent, and that was Joe Mixon. I think he had 123 yards the last time they played. I think early in the season last year. I'm looking at it right now, but yeah, man, got to give to him. Yeah, he had 90 yards in one game. The other game he had 100. He had over 123. So, and they're at home. They got a better O line. They're going against the 24th ranked, rushing defense, for running backs. So, I mean, Mixon, it looks like he's going to mix it up. I got to give it to him.
You're right. And I was just looking at the weather report for this game, and there's a pretty good chance of rain as well.
Interesting.
They say they say there's a good chance, but they, obviously we don't know. We know how weathermen go, but
Yeah,
if it's raining, yeah, I could see Cincinnati just kind of, you know, slowly grinding this game out a little bit against,
absolutely.
a division opponent. So I'm happy to put Joe Mixon in. I'm never going to say
Yeah.
no to Mixon.
For sure, for sure. Yeah,
He
yeah.
can definitely go. He can definitely go in there, and we will go to the next game, which is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. The Eagles are 4.5-point favorites in this game. Totals at 48.5. Is there an angle that you're really looking at in this game? I know there's a lot of hype for this Eagles team, and there's kind of a lot of hype for this Detroit Lions team as well.
Yeah, like for some reason, I don't know why there's hype around Detroit. I just being real. This is and the reason being is because like they may have the potential defensive rookie of the year in their pass rusher. I'm not sure what his name is. I think it's number 97, but he's
Yeah.
he's been very promising. But the Eagles, like they've been saying, like this is probably this is probably the best team they've had, even better than their Super Bowl team in terms of just talent across the board, receiver wise, running back wise. So I mean, I believe they are, but they are in Detroit. They are in Detroit, but it is a dome, so it's gonna be fair weather. I believe. I mean, looking at it right now, you could easily go with. Hopefully, I'll get his name right. Hawkinson, the tight
Yeah,
end.
TJ. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he looks pretty promising. Like
You
he's
like
going.
you love your tight ends, don't you?
Man, I mean, I'm a Chicago guy, so it's just like our tight ends get way more love than our wide receivers. So it's just like I'm used to like the tight ends and the running backs just doing their thing, and like I'm just looking at it right now in terms of, I mean, you can go either way. Definitely with the running game for the Eagles. Miles Sanders, he's legit, but like Detroit, they do have some buzz.
You kill me with that Miles Sanders love. I am out on Miles Sanders.
You like Miles Sanders? I mean,
No,
no,
I do not. I
you
do not
don't.
like him
I
at all.
mean, he did his thing. He did his thing last year. I mean, but Detroit can surprise some folks, man. I mean, like Hawkinson. I mean, I don't know what the odds are for you, but he's right around 45.5 receiving yards. For tomorrow's game, and dude, like he averaged 49 last year. He averaged 49 receiving yards.
It's
So
up to 47.5 currently.
goodness, right there. So like they got it right at the line, you know.
That's what
But
they usually do. That's what they usually
what
do.
do you think about that?
Uh look, I'm probably leaning somewhere else. Hawkinson is fine. I think
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how I would prefer either to go and I have like you like tight ends, I like running back
Yeah.
receiving yards. So I would lean to, looking at Swift's receiving yards, he's at 32 and a half.
Mm.
I think that's gone up a little bit though. So I don't love that as much anymore. Just looking around, you got Amon-Ra at 5.5 total receptions.
Mm.
Hawkinson's at 4.5 receptions. Those are all interesting. AJ Brown's at 4.5 receptions.
Ooh,
Like
that's yeah. That looks
I
good.
think he could get 5.
I think
Um,
I was well. I think he's gonna be. He's definitely, in my opinion, their best receiver. Devontae Smith is still. I think he's coming to a second year, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. They drafted him last year, I believe. AJ Brown is a beast. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him, man. So, AJ Brown, huh? Let's see. I mean,
my sneaky pick would be Jared Goff 2 touchdowns, and then that's plus 105.
really, really. Mm.
But that might be too much for we don't need big swings on this parlay. We're going like
Don't
17 deep. So
swings. That is true. That is
we
true.
don't need big swings, and we can always go outlines as well. So
That's true.
um, We have that.
If you like Jared Goff for 2 touchdowns, man, the TJ, right? So he was able to cover that line 7 out of the 12 games that he played last year. So like I think that's pretty decent. Jared Goff, I forgot he was there. I forgot he was there, man. So it's like I just focus on sweeping Detroit every single year. So
what if we make a compromise? We go TJ Hawkinson 40+ yards at $1.59. So I use decimal odds. I know that sometimes messes with people. But $1.59 basically. You bet 100 to get $59. So
yeah, TJ at 40.
Yeah,
I'm
willing to make a compromise.
That's even sweeter, actually. Like I would take that because he's going to be one of those touchdowns from Jared Goff. I promise you.
Well, he's going to have to. He's going to be like whoever their backup is,
or whoever the backup is. But like he stands the best chance, in terms of like skill players to have a big game. Like Philly against tight ends, they're terrible. You know what I'm saying? So like they're actually as it looks right now, they're ranked the worst against tight ends. So like he's more likely to go off, especially if Jared Goff has sort of like a bounce back year. He's going to be the guy that's going to benefit the most out of that. But if you can get him at 40, that would be excellent. Like,
yeah,
I would definitely
can get him at 40, and that's what we're gonna go with. TJ Hawkinson 40+ yards receiving in that game. And we're going to move on to the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. The Colts are 7.5-point favorites now on my book, and the total match points in that one is 45.5, with the over a little bit juiced there in Houston. So this is an interesting game, obviously, because of the division kind of implications of it all. And this line, I know that Texans got some love early. I want to say it was 8, but it might not have been. And it went down to 7 exactly, and now it's up to 7.5. So the Texans, man, what are we gonna do with the Texans and this Colts team?
Their head coach Lovie Smith, I love Lovie. Like he always brings the culture into any environment. I believe they went undefeated in the preseason, but be that as it may, the number 1 fantasy draft pick for most people was Jonathan Taylor, right? So this is like, even though for right here, what I'm looking at, right, they have him at 98.5 rushing yards. Like he may he may be the best player on the field on Sunday. And
he's up to 99.5 now.
99.5. He averaged 106 last year, but I mean, the dude had 1,800 rushing yards last year. And like the Texans, they're currently right now they're ranked 28th. In terms of their rushing defense, so I always look like this. If you got a Pro Bowl player or a top tier fantasy player going against a bottom tier defense for that particular position, then this is like that's typically where the smart money's at. You can even go with Pittman. I mean, Taylor, Pittman, and Ryan are like my top 3 player props for this matchup. You can go either way with 3 of them, but like Jonathan Taylor, he's going to get a lot of reps. Going to get like he's going to probably be the leader in fantasy points, hands down, this year. And that, I mean, he can get that in receiving yards too. I mean, let's see where he's at in terms of like receiving yards. 14.5. What's it look like?
It's always right around there, and it just depends on how they use him in game script and things like that. One interesting one, we don't have it for the Power Parlay, but one interesting one was I heard a couple of smart plays on the under for carries for Jonathan Taylor. I think it was at 20.5. Early in the season, he just they tend to I guess lighten the load a little bit on him. So I thought that was interesting. If we're gonna go over on Jonathan Taylor yards, I think we look at the alt lines a little bit
Yeah.
and add them in. I'm looking at it here. 80. We probably have to go 90 plus the $1.60.
Okay.
Make it worth our while.
Yeah.
The one other play that I was really looking at, and I might be doing too much, but it was Alec Pierce receptions, which is
Okay.
at over 2.5 is $1.79.
You got him
So
over.
right around the minus 125 mark. And I thought that was a little bit interesting just because, Michael Pittman's there, yes, but he's not going to get every target.
Not gonna, he's not.
And, we have obviously the forever living Paris Campbell there as well. As long as his hamstrings survive for another game. But yeah, I'm happy to go chalk here. We put Jonathan Taylor in there for 90 plus in this game.
Yeah, he's going to be like a flat out like horse. I think one game he had over 112 receiving yards.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is going to be the best quarterback he's ever played with, to say the very least.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it's just like Matt, and they said Matt Ryan's looking good. The Colts are a sleeper, and I forgot who their D lineman is, his name, but they have a top 5 D lineman as well.
Yeah, they have very good players, throughout their roster. So
yeah, so
I expect them to win that game.
I
do think Houston will be frisky. I just don't know how frisky. I don't really love the 7.5. I don't love laying the 7.5 either. So
yeah, that's
pretty much
interesting.
When it comes to sides, I'm out on that game. So.
Yeah. Right. Well, okay, but so Bass is like it would be a heartbreak for a lot of people if John Miller had a bust game against the Texans. Like this is
the Colts will be the number one pick for those knockout pools and things like that. They'd definitely be up there.
I'd love it even more if they were at home, but they're in Houston. They're in the dome, so weather won't be a factor. So man, Taylor's going. He looks like he may go crazy. If you're taking him over 90.5, I like that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna move on to the Saints and the Falcons. The Saints are 5.5-point favorites on the road in Atlanta. The total in this game is 42.5, and I don't know where you lie on this game, but Alvin Kamara.
Oh yeah,
probably the first name I think of when I think of this game.
Absolutely, hands down, like their most consistent player, and it's just
correct.
With him, it's like you can go either way. Because, like he's gonna. I believe he may lead the team in receptions, like rushing yards, maybe in receiving yards, because those dump offs, like that's what he's there for. He always makes
28.5. I already locked that play in early in the week. I think I got 27.5. Double check, but I like Kamara receiving yards. I think that's a fair call. His receptions at 3.5 plus 112. That's pretty good right there. Heavily juiced to the under, which is interesting. I think that part of that goes with the fact that Alvin Kamara, set season lows for receiving yards and receptions last year, but he was also getting thrown the ball by the tight end now. So
yeah, right. I think it's Jameis, he only played 7 games or so last year, so he was injured for the most part, so it threw the Saints off completely. So this go around with a healthy Jameis, at least for this first game, right? We just need Jameis to be on his feet. We need crab legs to be on his feet for the first game. this week one. So and if Kamara, he's averaging 69 rushing yards from last season. We the spread right now is for us is at 59.5. Even if you
got 60.5.
60.5. Even if you were to take the alternate, I mean, I would like that. I mean, I do like Cordell Patterson as well. I mean, Cordell Patterson's a beast, but he's a receiver turned running back. But Atlanta, I wouldn't put any stock into any Falcon player at all. And he's all
Yeah.
over the board in terms of rushing yards, receiving yards, receptions, all that stuff. But like Alvin Kamara is the most proven commodity out of any player on the field. He's the most proven commodity. Like that includes Michael Thomas, who's set to have
Yeah.
a bounce back year, but like he's coming off an injury. Alvin Kamara is just like, I mean, the last time they played Atlanta, dig this. They won 30-20. He had 30 carries for 146 yards.
I mean, we might have to ladder Kamara in that case.
This is think about that. Like that's just ridiculous. That's
Yeah.
and that was at Atlanta. So it's just like same scenario that we have right here. And
Yeah.
Atlanta is worse than they were last year, and the Saints should be better than they were last year. They just bolstered up their defense. They got the Honey Badger, I believe he signed with the Saints. So defensively, Atlanta like is going to be in trouble. And Kamara, he's going against a relatively weak rushing defense with the Falcons. So I believe the Falcons.
Let's just go 60 plus. 60 plus easy. $1.80.
Yeah.
Throw it in.
Yeah, for sure. Alvin Kamara.
We don't have to overcomplicate it. We can make it easy.
All day. Kamara, man. Yeah, you're right. You don't gotta complicate it. Good stuff.
All right. The next game we got is the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Jets. And the Ravens are -6.5 favorites in this game. The total's at 44.5. And I think we think the same thing when you think about this game. You just think about Lamar Jackson and him being pissed off about not having a contract and him trying to run for 1,000 yards in this game.
Exactly.
Or throw for 1,000 yards. I don't know which one he wants to do, and that's probably where we get hooked up a little bit. But yeah, it's very interesting. Looking at his rush yards, it's only at 59.5. I really like that. I think he gets, at least 60 in this game. Rush attempts is at 9.5. I think that's about right. It's probably right around 9 or 10 carries for him. Receiving wise, Mark Andrews is usually gassed up, 67.5.
Wow. Yeah.
Probably no at this point because I just want to see what this current iteration of the Baltimore Ravens offense looks like. Rashad Bateman, I like at 49.5. I think he's very interesting looking at even like his alt markets because I think he could potentially get to like 60, 70 yards in this game. So, 70 yards is plus 210 in this game. Like 100 yards is plus 725. So I think that's a little bit intriguing. I'm not touching any Jets in this game, that's for sure.
Right.
Where's your head on it?
Like they are in New York for this game, but like man, I think this is going to be the game where Lamar Jackson just does so much work. What I'm looking at right now, it's funny because Joe Flacco, right? He's a starting quarterback, so he's going against the Ravens. He may like have a FU game, FU Baltimore game, but he's actually Lamar Jackson is. For me, he's at 226.5 passing yards, which is like 8 less than Joe Flacco. But what I really like is this, this 291.5 pass and rush yards combined for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I got 292.5 for combined.
And it's just like, because like you don't know who he's going to throw the ball to, but he's going to throw the ball and he's going to run the ball. He could very well have, 200 passing yards and 92.5 rushing yards. Like he's it can go either way. Like he could have 150 passing yards and 150 rushing yards. Like it's gonna be that kind of game for him. And like overall, like he's going against the 27th ranked, defense like against the quarterback, right? So it's just like that's a bottom tier. That's like bottom 5, right? That's bottom 5 in the league defense. So with the Jets, I don't know what they're doing. They're going to be the worst team in the division this year. They're going to have a losing record, and Baltimore is in probably one of the toughest divisions, like in all of football, behind the AFC West and the NFC West. like that's my opinion, probably in the second or third strongest division. So like they gotta win these type of games, and Lamar Jackson's the motor. So I like the combo of the pass rush for the 292 you got, right?
Yep, yep. I like that as well. I was just clicking through these, and Joe Flacco at 35 and a half pass attempts seems way too high.
Mike,
I
what?
can't imagine them wanting to throw that much with Joe Flacco.
Still, like I forgot he's like no way.
Oh, I might be taking that later, so I'm keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, definitely we'll take Lamar Jackson here. He's more fun. It's more fun to bet on Lamar Jackson than taking Lamar
Man,
Jackson. Anything
I
else?
got him in fantasy, so like this, it's all correlated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. For
Well, here
sure.
we do what everywhere. You know, so
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. It's a lot of fun to watch Lamar Jackson play football. That's for sure.
That's a
The next game is the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. My New England Patriots. I'm a New England Patriot fan.
okay.
They are 3.5-point underdogs in this game. That's gone up a point since I think it was at 2.5 earlier in the week. The
Really?
total in this game is 46.5. I like the under in this game. I think there is going to be a potential for massive downpour, like like T storms in the Miami area.
Really?
Whether
Okay.
that actually happens, we don't know. But obviously, you're dealing with heat. You're dealing with rain potentially in
Mhm.
this game. I think it could just be a sloppy kind of. New England wants to run the ball anyway,
Yeah.
and for some reason, and I tweeted this out this morning, Chase Edmonds line, because for some reason everyone just keeps talking about the Miami pass game, and they got
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and two of this, two of that. Is he that guy? Is he not? Like, I don't think it really matters
Right.
because the new head coach there, you know, he comes from Shanahan's kind of offense. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why there's so much talk about the pass game. I get it because of the guys that they added, and I guess the intrigue with that. But I feel like they're going to be running the ball a lot more than people think.
That's right.
Um, if we're talking about a 49er style offense, I'm looking at the running backs and
Yep.
Chase Edmonds, and this is the first name that popped in my mind,
Yeah, man.
um, and Mostert as well. But I think Chase Edmonds, though, what they paid him a lot of money to come in there and be the guy,
That's
be
true.
the guy per se. Like, he's not going to get 30 carries or anything, but even with 10 or 11 carries, I think he gets well over his current line, which is at 38 and a half.
Yeah.
Um,
That seems so low.
the team's so low against a Patriots defense. Like, I'm a Patriot fan. When every game, all we're doing is, giving up chunk plays in a run game, and you're just like, oh, here we go again. Um, it happens almost every single season for the Patriots at some point, especially in Miami, the House of Horrors, like Ronnie Brown in the orange jersey. That's all I can picture in my head. Wildcat formation, just dominating us.
There it
So,
is. That is super.
um, or Kenyon Drake running back that freaking Hail Mary, Gronk is playing safety.
Miami has some running backs, man. Like they really do. Like, okay, I why people are up on Miami this year. But
It's a
like,
little bit of an island of misfit toys in the backfield, but
yeah,
I think in this situation, if there's rain, the Patriots defense could get fatigued later on in the game. If Miami's up, say Miami's up like 10 points in the second half, like, do you see the Dolphins like, oh yeah, Tua, you got this, just start chucking it around some more?
exactly.
Like,
No,
no, it's not going to happen.
Chase Edmonds all day.
It's just going to be handoff, handoff, handoff.
Man,
5 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards.
this is a good
Um,
and this is a real I mean, are you seeing this Tua for like 9.5 rushing yards?
no.
What's that?
I am seeing that.
You think he get 10 rushing yards?
I think Chase Evans can get 40 before he gets 10.
That's a fact. He did it a lot. I'm trying to see like out of like he only played in 13 games, Chase Edmonds last year. Like he was able to cover that 40 mark, like more than half of those games. So
Yeah, look at his carries too, because I think if he gets like 10 or 11 carries,
Yeah, I mean, dude,
he gets
if he gets 8 carries, if he gets one game, he had 4 carries for 46 yards. So
right.
if he can have under 10 carries and still hit that, that rushing total. That's very reassuring. That's very reassuring right there, without a doubt. Like,
I just don't see a rookie head coach coming in here saying, "All right, Bill Belichick's here. I'm just gonna
yeah,
let Tua uncork. I'm gonna let Tua uncork now."
yeah,
All
it's
right.
like let it
Well,
loose.
Belichick be like, "Yep, okay, cool. Do that, please."
Yeah, exactly. This is like Bill Belichick. He loves playing against rookie coaches. he loves it. This is what he does. So it's just like he's already picking him apart right now before the game's even started. So the safest bet to bleed, and then you hit it right on the head with like just the weather factor. It's going to be a heavy run game. The game score is going to be low. Chase Edmonds seems to be the best option. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely like that right there for sure.
You're happy with Chase Evans going to the power parlay then?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
So Chase Edmonds is in, and we move on to the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers. The Browns have flipped this game on its head. They are now 1.5-point favorites. The total's at 41.5. Carolina was favorites all week. I think they're to 2.5. So this move has moved quite a bit since the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
Man,
Whew,
what are you looking at in this Cleveland game?
man, let me see. Like who's on Carolina? You got Robbie Anderson. I mean, this is oh man. I mean, you can go McCaffrey. You know what I'm saying? Like he's always gonna do his thing for sure. Let me see if they have a nice combo for him. Like McCaffrey at 44.5 receiving yards. That seems to be legit. You know what I'm saying? Or even at 67.5 rushing yards. I like the receiving options more than, even the 5.5 plus receptions. Like, Christian McCaffrey, like, he was one of my, he was at the top 2 and, like, valuable pick in fantasy. So, like, even though this is a Baker revenge game, like, Christian McCaffrey is the best player on the field.
He definitely is.
Yeah.
I guess the contrarian play I would be looking at Nick Chubb receiving yards is really interesting to me. And I know he doesn't catch a lot of balls. But we got Jacoby Brissett back here. We're not talking about like guys that like are looking to throw the ball,
right,
downfield a ton. So at 7.5, Nick Chubb just needs what, 2 catches? Can we get a screen?
7 yards for Nick Chubb. That's all we need right there.
That's all we need for Nick Chubb.
That's just hold on, let's.
It's like the Derrick Henry receiving yards. It's always like 6.5, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He did it 6 times last year, and that was within what 14 games, like so.
It's definitely not the safest option. Let's put it that way.
Right. It's
not the safest.
Like out of the receiving yards, like on this end, like those are actually, believe it or not, the strongest odds out of any type of like over. The second best odds to that is DJ Moore for 59.5 receiving yards, but Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt as well for 16.5 receiving yards. But like, are they play Kareem Hunt? Because I thought he requested a trade. So like,
yeah, it's weird. It's a weird situation. So.
I'm not sure what they're gonna do with him. But man, this is a good one, man.
I think another one that I like is Robbie Anderson over 2.5 receptions. Is that basically minus 125, $1.83.
Mm-hmm.
That's intriguing to me because 3 catches is really nothing. Baker Mayfield's able to get a guy 3 catches. I don't think that's very difficult, especially if Cleveland, now the favorite, if they're up in this game and Baker Mayfield has to throw.
Yep.
We're looking at the likes. There's not tons other than DJ Moore to throw to on this team.
And that's what I'm saying, because like I'm looking at it right now, like, so Christian McCaffrey, right? He
Yep.
only played in like 7 games last year. Like
Yep.
he covered that, that receiving yard mark 5 out of those 7 games last year.
So 45 and a half we're looking at, right?
Yeah, it's just like it's like, man, that's the most proven commodity.
All right.
Most,
I'm not gonna go against CMC when he's finally healthy.
yeah, right.
I think
Finally,
that's
like, no, where's he been at, man? He's like 2 years straight. So hopefully he's healthy for 1 game, right?
yeah. That's all we need him for. All right, we'll go Christian McCaffrey over 45 and a half receiving yards. That's going in. And we'll move on from that game, and we're going to move on to the San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears. The 49ers are 6.5-point favorites, and the total is only 40 and a half.
Because we're in Chicago. That's why, man. So, like, I've been thinking about this game a lot. Like, you can go so many directions with this right here, man. Like, wow, you got Trey Lance and Justin Fields. Like, it's like, that's a pick 'em. You got Debo for 58 and a half receiving yards. But personally, man, this guy is going to have a monster year, and that is David Montgomery.
Ooh, I like it.
This guy right here, bro. I mean, it's like San Fran has a good. The thing is, San Fran has a good run defense. That's the only thing. But he averaged 65 rushing yards last year. They got him at 55 and a half rushing yards. Like, in
52 and a half right here.
That's even sweeter. Like, let me give you these metrics right here, man. Like, he covered 52 and a half in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, and he only played in 14. He only played in 14 games, so 9 out of 14 games, which is that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's good. You'll take that.
There. So it's just like, Montgomery seems legit. I wouldn't think about this game obviously a lot. I mean, even Montgomery at 14 and a half receiving yards, like, he's covered that at least 8 times last year out of 14 games. So he is legit. People are Justin Fields is gonna have a big game. But so can, personally, I took the Bears at a plus 17 and a half because I believe they're gonna cover. But, like, Montgomery, I mean, before I go for 10, I know I'm a Bears fan. What do you think? You know what I'm saying?
I think San Francisco wins this game. I think they just kind of drag it out. It's just kind of, ugly, 24-13 type game. I don't see really how the Bears move the ball unless Fields is just kind of doing it on his own.
Yeah.
I do like Montgomery. I think he'll get plenty of work. So I think it's more of a volume play for me. But Trey Lance at 38 and a half yards rushing is interesting. Trey Lance anytime touchdown at plus 230 is interesting.
Oh, yeah. But
I think
does that count? So I tried that with Josh Allen on Thursday. He got it. Josh Allen was just phenomenal. He got it. But, like, was that passing yards, or was that his personal rushing touchdown?
what's the Josh Allen one?
No, so Josh Allen, I believe. So for him, I believe it was like it only counted towards like a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, that was a rushing touchdown. Yeah. Oh no, this is anytime. So this is you can't throw it. You have to run it. So for any time, this would be a rushing touchdown for Trey Lance.
And that's what Montgomery, he's gonna get like he averaged like right around 20 carries, at least for the last 4 games of last year. So, like, he's gonna get around 20 carries. Yeah, that's what I believe. So, like, in terms of volume, and I believe he'll get at least hopefully 3 yards per carry, which is relatively low. That puts him at 60.
So looking at the weather, some parts of the Chicago area are going to see an absolute crazy amounts of of rain. Whether or not that's on the stadium during the game is too early to know.
Right.
You have to wait until Sunday morning to really know for sure.
And
So it could be rain.
man, they're supposed to be getting a dome like sometime this year. Oh man, finally. And there's new turf apparently. That's a thing now. So we got new grass on the field after 100 years. We have new turf. After 100 years, we have new turf on the field. So like, I mean, man, but also think about this. The Bears receivers, even though there's not a lot.
I can't do Bears receivers.
Right. No, exactly. But I'm talking about like in terms of like, so San Fran's secondary is weak. And so it's just like Justin Fields can literally have a pretty solid like day, throwing like in terms of pass and rush at 237.5 rush right now. And Trey Lance for him it's basically 250. So it's like you can honestly go like either way with that.
I'd rather go just straight rushing yards with those guys. I like Fields over 33.5, rushing, and Trey Lance at 38.5.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of those are
like
very intriguing.
He's done that a few times. So he's at 30. So he's at 33.5. So so he's done that. He did that 6 times last year.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, and he did that 6 out of 12 games. And
well, how's that Bears O-line?
Good question.
Because if he's gonna be running for his life, then I like taking that over pretty easily. I think he could just be one look and he's out of there.
Right. So exactly. So they're better than last year. They're still I'm still not convinced personally. So you could definitely see him, taking some runs because the pocket may collapse, but they kind of really masked that efficiency during the preseason because the Bears weren't undefeated. So it's like the Bears were winning. Justin Fields looked great that last game. The dude had 150 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in the first half. But the O-line is still patchy to say the very least. I can see him getting 35 rushing yards.
All right, we'll put Fields in. Look, it doesn't hurt any to give Justin Fields some love every once in a while as well.
Let's get it. If there's some rain, it's gonna be a running type of day anyway. So,
yeah. All right, next game. You can take a deep breath now. We're done with Chicago. We're on to Jacksonville Jaguars and Washington Seawards.
So this is actually a game that most people are not even thinking about. But
I like the Jags.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of
Trevor Lawrence, bro. So Washington has the worst. They're one of the worst defenses when it comes against quarterbacks. They're the worst. Currently ranked right now, they're 32nd. So this is I definitely they're in Washington though. That's the thing. So
there's no home field advantage in Washington.
But so living in DC, Washington, this is over just 20 years. Washington will sneak that first game. They will sneak that first game. That happens so much. Where they win that first game and then they think they're going to go to the playoffs every year, and then they get humbled by week 3. They're humbled by week 3 every year. But we got week 1, and you got Carson Wentz. I mean, really the same. Terry McLaurin is probably he's the most valued player for that game. He does have Carson Wentz throwing the ball. I do like Antonio Gibson, the running.
Oh no, running. You like him running?
Yeah, running.
Yeah, okay. 56.5 currently.
I mean, dude, he's kind of a horse. His last game, he had 146 rushing yards. He's a horse.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna get work. I mean, it's McKissick really, and that's about it. I wish McKissick freaking prop was in here, but it's not, so I'll have to wait for that for Sunday. I'm guessing,
right?
But because that's my guy. I love betting that McKissick receiving yards prop.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. That is for sure.
But Another interesting one here is Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 touchdowns. I think it's plus 129, and I could definitely see him throwing 2 touch. Like I could see him throwing like 3 touchdowns, to be honest, in this game. And then everyone's like, "Oh, Trevor Lawrence, he's got a new coach and things are different now." And especially against Washington's secondary,
Yeah,
um,
which is
which is I can't even name a guy on their secondary at the moment.
their
So.
secondary is literally the worst. So I can see Trevor getting 2 touchdowns like that. I believe that will happen for sure.
All right. Well, we're gonna give Trevor Lawrence. Look, we just gave Justin Fields some love. We're gonna give some Trevor Lawrence love.
I give Trevor Lawrence some love.
As well.
New culture. Let's see how he's like. He's number
New
one pick.
Culture. New subpar receivers to throw to.
Yeah, new subpar receivers. Right? New subpar. Hilarious. But yeah, I like that.
All right. The next game we got is Las Vegas Raiders versus Los Angeles Chargers. The Raiders are 3.5-point underdogs. The total of the game is 52.5.
Yeah, like these two teams hit the over on the total for the past 10 games straight. Like they literally done that. Like their last game was like 35-32, but like
yeah, I had the tie in that game, and I was hoping and praying that it would just happen.
Dude, they're looking. I mean, where are they at? Are they in LA?
They're in. Yeah, not that matters because there's going to be plenty of Raider fans there.
That's true. The
Chargers have no home field.
That is very true. Excellent point right there. I mean, dude, you can go with like it looks like here the top 3 valuable players: Eckler, Adams, and Herbert. Right, and I really like Herbert, man. Like
yards.
I mean, let's see where he's at in yards. 281.
284 here.
284. Man, they are not playing.
It's getting cheap.
They are not playing with him, man. So let's see. I mean, if anyone could do it, they're talking about but Eckler. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, Eckler for 60.5 rushing.
60.5. Yep.
He can do it. He can do it.
Eckler rushing and receiving is at 97.5. I think
that can happen too.
I'm a little bit more comfortable doing that. Just because you have like the 2 options.
Yeah.
Receiving is at 35.5.
35.5. Okay.
I think you could easily get that, and then you add in, his rushing ability as well, and you got something cooking there. But others that are interesting, Hunter Renfro's at 47.5. Devontae Adams at 79.5. I don't think J.C. Jackson's playing this game. Right. So I think they have just Asante Samuel Jr. out there.
And they got Derwin James Jr., I believe, too.
Yeah, but he's not playing corner, though, so he's not going to see Devontae.
In terms of the one-on-one, but in terms of, like, big plays, it's like –
oh, yeah, for sure.
This is like I mean, hey, it happened to Jalen Ramsey on Thursday. Like, Stefan, I went to Maryland, so, like, I'm a big Stephon Diggs fan, and, like, he ate. Like, he came straight at, and he was straight at Jalen. He gave Jalen Ramsey work. So like,
he did.
He gave him work. So like I can see but Derwin James is supposed to be the best safety in the league this year. Definitely the highest paid. Devontae Adams, like we'll see what happens. I mean, Eckler just seems like the guy. Like. I mean, and they got.
I'm happy to go against this Raiders defense rather than the Chargers defense. So,
they got the Mac Daddy there now, man. This is like the Chargers on every phase of the defense. They're solid. D-line, linebacker, secondary. I mean, what do you think about this Eckler? Like over 100.5 rushing receiving yards.
Yeah, 97.5 here. So I think we take that and run with it.
That's great. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Easy.
You got some good odds, man. Yeah.
We got a lot of legs in there, though. We got a lot of legs.
That is the move, bro. Good stuff. Good stuff. Easy decision. Easy decision right there.
All right, we got the Giants and the Tennessee Titans. This game is ugly. I kind of like the Giants at +5.5 against the Titans. The total's at 43.5. I just think that this Giants team has to be better than they were last year. They got a new coach, got Brian Daboll in there. I think he might be able to do something with that Daniel Jones at least a little bit, but Saquon Barkley looks like the truth.
Yeah.
I think he looks really good in this game. His yards is at 55.5. I could see him going for 100 in this game. Tennessee lost Eli Harold on the defensive line. That's going to kill their pass rush a little bit because I really don't know who that. They don't have anyone else other than him as a pass rusher that anyone knows. I'm sure Mike Vrabel will piece it together and do something, but 55.5 for Saquon, I think that's disrespectful. Derrick Henry's at 98.5. Like that's big time.
And I mean, yeah, I know he's finally healthy. Like he's going against a weak defense in the Giants, but like he hasn't hit 100 yards rushing since week 6 of last year.
Right.
And he missed a lot of games, so like he wasn't really healthy. But like, man, when he was healthy, like for 5 games straight, 182, 113, 157, 130, 143. Like that is just monster, So he can. I mean, you're going against a relatively weak defense, and you're the best player on the team. I mean, damn, man. Saquon, huh? You like Saquon?
I like Saquon. Looking at the receivers wise, like I really don't. There's nothing that really jumps off the page. I mean, you got a bunch of names here. We got Golladay, we got Treylon Burks, we got Austin Hooper, we got Robert Woods, we got Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Like none of this looks appealing to me at all.
Not at all. This game comes to Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
Right.
It is like 99.5 and 55.5. Now, even though Tennessee they're missing their pass rusher, I forgot this guy's name again, but they do have a top 5 D lineman in the mix. Like they have one of the top 3 defenses in the league. Against the rush. So it's just like I'm thinking about that. New York, on the other hand, they have the 26th ranked defense against the rush, and they are in Tennessee.
My only kickback would be it's really hard for teams to transition that success over from year to year.
That is
there is a couple times where it does happen, like the Vikings being terrible pass defense. That's happened the past 2 years, but usually it ebbs and flows a little bit more than we would like if we're actually keeping track of it and things like that. So
that's true.
Well, I agree with you that Tennessee's defense was
but just on the D line, because secondary wise, like they're one of the worst. Like I'm looking at the Giants receivers are they're valued to have a very strong game. And even Daniel,
right, but I'm not betting on any Giants receivers.
Exactly, right? So it's just like I'm just thinking, it's just like, man. I mean, dude, I like Saquon, man. You can't go wrong with Saquon. This is.
I mean, when else are we gonna bet Saquon? We're gonna bet him when either he's gonna blow up, and then we're gonna have to bet him at like 75.5 every week, or he's gonna get hurt again, and then we're gonna be like, damn, we ain't bet Saquon anymore.
Exactly. Man, so I like it. I like it. Saquon 55. Right. You got him at 55.5?
Yeah, 55.5.
Seems legit. Like honestly, if he gets 20 touches, he should get that.
Yeah, for sure. I think he should get that, and I don't think the Giants have anywhere else to look. But
no.
Really.
They do not. Like this team is Saquon or bust. They have some solid subpar receivers, but like
they do too. Yep.
Yeah, like man. But I like that. Saquon seems legit. Let's go with that.
All right, the next game we got is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Arizona Cardinals, and the Chiefs currently are 5.5-point favorites in this game, and the total's at 53.5. So way up there. Keeps going up, up and up and up. And yeah, I think there's a lot to like in this game.
So much.
I think Mahomes is being a little bit disrespected. Like,
Yep.
yes, he lost Tyreek Hill, but he is a $300 million man. So
Yep.
I really think we should start kind of rejigging our thought process on Mahomes a little bit. So,
like Mahomes is like, man, he's just the beast. Like, oh look, and it changed up. Like I think yesterday you could have got Mahomes at least 1.5 over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and that changed.
I like the 2.5 because this Cardinals defense is garbage. Like,
yeah, and the thing is, like, so was the Chiefs secondary. But today, for tomorrow's matchup, quarterback wise, you can go either way. I feel like you can go either way.
Well, Kyler Murray 2 touchdown passes is plus 100.
I mean, even Kyler Murray for 257.5 passing yards. Like,
I really hate Kyler. He's 256.
Like, he's like, man. Let's see. I mean, hold up. I mean, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes, man. It's just like it's Patrick Mahomes. Like, what are you going?
Are they going to hand the ball off to Pacheco in the end zone? Because Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the goal line situation is not happening.
Yeah,
we keep trying that. But receiving props wise, I think Travis Kelce at 74.5 is always interesting. So I think he's just going to get plenty of work. Juju's at 46.5. I think that's also interesting. I think
hilarious.
Juju, new team. I mean, he got targeted a crap ton last year as well. Don't know if he gets the same target share that he got last year. If he does, that 46.5 is going to be easily over on this team because he actually has a quarterback that can throw more than 2 yards down the field. So, so I like a lot in this game. I'll let you make the call. You're the guest.
Man, dude. So, man, I like, so I'm looking at, strangely enough, Patrick Mahomes 39.5 reception. Passing attempts. And like, whether they
I'm
can
38.5.
You got it at 38.5? That's awesome. Well, he's just been like hitting that mark. Like, he's always getting around. One game he had 54 passing attempts. Like, that's just like ridiculous. But he's averaging, like, I'm just looking at it right now. The dude had 780 passing attempts last year. You know, so like, I think that's pretty legit, and that's out of 20 games. So if you were to do like 780 divided by 20, you know, like that's his average, right? And this is like, and currently right now, like that's like the best we can go off of in terms of that regard. And that's literally that you do that as 39. Like, how crazy is that? Like, it's 30 for a reason, right?
That's why they did it. That's why they put the line right there for you.
This is like, is he gonna go crazy? And the thing is, he has more. Like, he doesn't have more weapons, but like he has to throw the ball to more people.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think he gets. I think he throws for, what's his yards at? His yards are at 286. I think he goes for 303 touchdowns. Like,
solid, strong medicine. Yeah, I mean, it's
300 passing yards is at plus 115 against this Cardinals defense. I don't see how they can slow him down.
No, and like, they're in Arizona. That's not going to matter. The weather's going to be nice. How's the weather? Weather looks good.
Yep, there's nothing on that game talking about weather. So
okay. I mean, what? Well, you said 2. Yeah, like, so I got Mahomes over here at 288.5 passing yards.
Passing yards got 286.5.
286.5. You think he's gonna get That's a good cushion. It's a good
Yeah,
cushion.
it is. It is. We can take the yards. You don't
Let's
have to
take
take touchdowns.
let's take the yards. Let's see what happens.
All right, we'll take the yards and we continue. We move on and we go to the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of intrigue with this game. I almost feel like it's almost like a playoff decider game
Yeah,
because whoever wins this game will have a leg up on the other going down the stretch
yep.
for the most part. The Packers are 1.5-point favorites in this game. The total's at 46.5, and man, I can't wait to see this iteration of the Minnesota Vikings offense. I think, it might just be Kirk Cousins' season.
It's so funny. Like a lot of people are saying that, and I'm just like, I can't say anything. It's like I got my feelings about Kirk Cousins to say the very least. But man, like I'm trying to see for rushing touchdowns, right? Like
Rushing touchdowns?
yeah, or just even just
Anytime?
I would say even anytime touchdowns. I like Aaron Jones.
Yeah, it's minus 110 basically.
Okay.
So it's fine. Like personally, I don't like playing anytime touchdowns that are just kind of minus 110. I feel like I'm being cheated. Like Dalvin Cook at minus 105 is a little bit more intriguing, I think.
Dalvin Cook
Um,
105. I mean, Dalvin Cook is a bad boy. Like I can't like
and Thielen at plus 195 is intriguing in the touchdown market as well because all he does is catch touchdown.
that's all he does. I mean, whew. Like look, Aaron Rodgers is going against the 28th ranked passing defense.
Yeah, well, that's what I prefaced that a couple segments ago, saying like the Vikings over the past 2 seasons just have been absolutely terrible defending the pass. So
Mm-hmm. So
unfortunately, I don't have any Packers receivers props whatsoever. They're holding out on us because of the injuries, and yeah, I think everyone's going to be trying to get that Aaron Jones line.
yeah,
So they don't want to mess that up.
I get it, bro. It's just like it makes sense. Aaron Jones, man, like the dude is literally like he's a touchdown magnet. Like I think like he's gonna get the most touchdowns out of any skill player for the Packers this year. He's gonna lead that team in touchdowns.
So a line I already took was Adam Thielen over 4.5 receptions. It's plus 102. I
That's
really like that. I really like that line.
yeah,
5
yeah,
catches for Adam Thielen, I
for
think
sure.
is very doable. Especially with all the attention that Justin Jefferson is going to bring. I just think that that's cake because they already have the rapport. Like him and Cousins are like,
Exactly.
2 peas in a pod. Like I just don't see how he doesn't get the 5 catches unless he gets injured or something.
And
Like
he gets
plus
injured.
money.
That's his favorite target, hands down, man. So no, I agree. I agree. I like that. I hate both these teams. At the very least. But Thielen for 5 receptions for sure. I can see that happening.
All right.
I can.
Thielen's going in. And we move on from the Vikings to go to Sunday night Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Woo,
and the Dallas Cowboys.
the stars at
Wow. 2.5. 2.5 is the line. Buccaneers are favored. The total in this game is 50.5. Just FYI, if this game goes over 51.5, I would bet the under. 51 is a key number. 50. So that's why I would wait to see. I'd probably wait until Sunday night because I
yeah.
think everyone will be chasing their losses from the day, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this game's going over," and that might get up to over 51.5. If it goes over 51, if it goes 51.5, then I'm definitely on the under. So I do like that because I think this is not like last year's Tampa Bay Dallas game. Like I think we felt differently about these two teams last year when they were coming in. Everyone was kind of excited about the Cowboys. They were excited about Tampa Bay. This year feels the opposite for both of them. Like, we have lots of question marks about the Buccaneers, like the
Yeah.
O-line. Tom Brady missed like 11 days. Like, what's he doing? He's 45 years old. We got the Cowboys. They're missing a bunch of offensive linemen. Prescott, where's his weapons? Cooper's gone.
Yep.
Is Ezekiel Elliott back, or what's going on? Pollard, is he going to catch some balls? What's he doing? Gallup's hurt. Like, they got Noah Brown out there, and Jalen Tolbert. Like, we just don't know what we're going to get from the Cowboys in this game. So, is there anything that jumped out to you in this game other than just playing like Tom Brady touchdowns or something?
I mean, like, dude, Tom Brady almost had 6,000 passing yards last year, man. It's just
Ridiculous.
That's just ridiculous, man. I mean, you think about that, so it's like, I mean, they are in Dallas. Dak is going to, between the two quarterbacks, Dak is going against the weaker defense between Dallas and Tampa Bay defensively. But you just put it right there on the spot. Dak doesn't have it. Outside of CD Lamb, Dak doesn't have any weapons. And Tom Brady actually does. Tom Brady actually does have weapons because he hasn't been much over the past few years, but like their third or second best receiver is Julio Jones.
Right. He's got 2 Hall of Famers on his team now.
He literally has 2 Hall of Famers on his team, so it's just like
Tom Brady, he had 2 before. Maybe he had 3 before. He just has Hall of Famers all the time now.
Tom Brady definitely has the weapons, and even with the O-line, Tom Brady's going to get the ball out fast. So it's just like they got him at 275.5. He averaged over 310 last year. And honestly, offensively, this may be a better team outside of the tight end position. But they got Kyle Rudolph, I believe. Didn't they get Kyle Rudolph from Minnesota?
Yeah, they did get Kyle Rudolph. Yeah.
I like that right there. So like Kyle Rudolph and Julio Jones, and you basically you lose Antonio Brown and Gronk. I think I think this team is equally talented on offense as it was last year, and so with that, Tom Brady, is he's the GOAT for a reason, man. Like this guy, like this dude has had so many 300+ yard games last year. It's just like, I like Tom Brady over 275.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not.
It's like they're in Dallas Sunday night, the game. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. Man,
all right, I think I can do better though. I kind of like.
What do you got? What do you got, man?
I like Tom Brady pass completions over 24.5. You did talk about his line and him getting the ball out quick. I could see him getting over that 24.5.
Yeah,
Looking at last year, he threw 50 times against Dallas in that week 1 game last year. He had 32 completions.
Crazy, man.
24 the following game against Atlanta, and 41, 22, 30, 34, 20, 28, 23, 30, 25, 31, 26, 18, 34, 29. So pretty consistently going over that 24 mark.
That's true.
Throughout last year, and both times in the playoffs as well. So I think that's something that I would consider. One that I've already played is Dak Prescott pass attempts. It's at 35.5 now. So basically minus 125, $1.80, $79. Give you a cent. I think he threw 58 times in this game last year. I don't expect him to throw that many, but I could see them having to throw because obviously this Buccaneers run defense is a nightmare. And as much as we want Ezekiel Elliott to, reclaim whatever glory he had, I think it's going to be tough against this defensive line. So I could see them having to chuck the ball around a little bit. So I like both of those as well. So you get to make the call.
Man, no, dude, like that. And like honestly, I think both of these pass attempts are going to hit. I think they're going to hit. So I think and so it doesn't really matter if they can complete it or not. And like reason why I will go, like I'm looking at, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I see 38.5 for Tom Brady for pass attempts. Like
Pass attempts.
Yeah, like I don't see
Yeah,
how
that's 30.5. I think that's high. I like the completions better.
you do.
Yeah, because I think like I said, like I think he throws some shorter passes, but I also think if they get up in this game, like they could easily just kind of just run Fournette into the line and slow play this one as well. Because that's why I like the under in this game as well. Because I don't think Dallas can score, but I think Prescott's going to be forced to kind of like if they're losing by 10 points in the second half, he's just going to be throwing the ball constantly. You know what I mean?
Good point. I mean, in the Dak over pass attempts is a strong. It's strong. I mean, we can go with Dak on that. We can go with Dak on the pass attempts. Like I think both these are solid plays. Like I didn't even think about it. So props to you on that. Like yeah, and last year, like yeah, they both went crazy with the passes. Like between them combined, 108 pass attempts. 108.
Yeah,
So,
that's ridiculous.
That's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, man. So I mean I like it. Like both these guys under 40 for sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll put Dak in. We're up to 5,885 to 1 odds right now. We have one game left, and I don't know if we're going to get even props for this one. We got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos. You know, Broncos country, let's ride. The Broncos are 6.5 point favorites in this game. The total's at 44.5. I think I like in this side, like I kind of like the Seahawks to be just annoyingly frisky in this game. But as for props go, we do have some props. We got Wilson passing yards. We got Geno Smith passing yards. We got Javonte Williams. We got Rashad Penny rushing yards. And we do have alt rushing yards. So if we want to go for safety. Cortland Sutton receiving yards. We got at 64.5. DK Metcalf's at 57.5. And Tyler Lockett at 49.5. And we got alt lines for all those guys as well. And Jerry Jeudy as well. So is there what's your angle on this one? Are you just looking at Russell Wilson over 251? He just comes out, let Russ cook?
Russ got
I don't hate that.
He got some weapons. Russ has some weapons, to say the very least, man. Like, man, so the thing is with Russ, he's like different from Brady and Dak. Like his pass attempts are actually low. Like they're low. So like him over 33.5 pass attempt wise, I do not like that at all for sure. Passing yards, man. I mean, I believe he's on get back. So it's just like this may be are they so they're in Seattle too. Whoo, that's gonna be a tough crowd, man. That's gonna be tough for us. Man. Let's Javonte Williams, 58 rushing yards. Like
57.5.
57.5?
Yeah.
They're like, man. He only averaged 53 last year. So it's just like, I'm not sure.
You don't love it.
I don't love anything about this game. I don't love anything about this game, man. This is like the Seahawks don't have a quarterback, honestly. Not like Denver's motivated. Like Denver has a good defensive philosophy, you know. So like I think Denver's going to win this game, like outright. They just have more weapons, more talent. Russ, like this is.
What about Cortland Sutton?
Can
we get a huge game from Cortland Sutton? Can we get a touchdown from Cortland Sutton? That's plus 150.
Cortland Sutton is a man. Wow.
Melvin Gordon touchdowns plus 190. That's interesting because all the talk was about how Melvin Gordon's been getting the third down work. He's been getting the 2-minute offense work. He's been getting goal line carries.
You said Melvin Gordon right there?
Melvin Gordon anytime touchdown plus 190.
Dude, like, see, Melvin Gordon, I like him over. Sutton only had 2 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, well, he had Drew Lock throwing the ball as well, though.
Oh my god, terrible. But like, look at Melvin Gordon. Like he gets after it, man. So anytime touchdown, He had 10 total last year. You know, it's like obviously Drew Lock, obviously.
I'm saying if we like Denver to win this game, I could see both Javante and Gordon getting one, but if they blow them out, Gordon's getting a touchdown.
Yeah.
Plus 190, I think, is undervalued for him. And if it's the last leg of our parlay, then so be it.
Yeah. I like it, man. Like again, Denver's rushing offense is going against, one of the worst rushing defenses in the league. End of the day, so it's just like this would be a game where Williams and Gordon will both go off. So it's just like, yeah, I like that. I do like Melvin Gordon anytime touchdown.
All right, so we add Melvin Gordon, and we currently have $17,067.66.
That's hilarious.
So $5 wins us $85,000.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? What charity? Charity put 5K towards the kids, man. If that hits, that's gonna be excellent, man. This is like I wouldn't put another bet.
I'll have to send you something.
I would start NFL season. So it's like I'm done. Week one, we're done, man.
yeah, we're done. So to recap, I even got a little power play. We can get up to 100K real quick. To recap, we have Joe Mixon over 71.5. We got TJ Hawkinson over 40 plus yards receiving. Jonathan Taylor 90 plus yards. Alvin Kamara 60 plus rushing yards. Lamar Jackson over 292.5 passing and rushing. Chase Edmonds over 38.5. Christian McCaffrey over 45.5 receiving. Justin Fields over 33.5 yards rushing. Trevor Lawrence over 1 touchdown against Washington. Eckler over 97.5 rushing and receiving. Saquon over 55.5. Mahomes over 286.5 passing yards. Adam Thielen for 5 catches. Dak Prescott to throw 36 times in this game. And Melvin Gordon, anytime touchdown scorer for the win.
I love it, man. That's a power play. That is man. Wow.
That is exactly how we do it, and I'll lock that one in. And
excellent.
Yeah, we'll play that. And once again, I really appreciate you coming on. Just go ahead, plug everything you got, man. What you been doing?
Man, we've been rocking and rolling, man. If you've been following us on Twitter, man, you guys gotta know that you gotta make sure you follow the Cappers Collective on Twitter, Discord. Sure. We're having so much fun. And I was doing baseball season and just other stuff, This guy over here has been killing it, with Korean baseball. Like you guys,
that's just a hobby, man. That's just for fun. Like this is the serious stuff now.
But you got the NFL. This is the creme de la creme when it comes to sports betting right here, man. So guys, definitely follow us on the Cap Collective. We've been having a blast, and listen, we're here to make some money for every single person that's tapping in. So don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. Again, Cap Collective is where you want to check us out at. Of course, Twitter. I mean, the list goes on and on. We want to say thank you all again for this, having some fun with us, and looking forward to tomorrow, man. And Cmoney, thank you for the time and opportunity. Thank you for staying up late.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Man,
shout out to everyone out there, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Good luck this weekend.